Good morning, Wizards Nation. Breaking news. We're cooked. There's no basketball. This next month is going to be dry. I don't know what to talk about right now, dude. It's in the morning, and I'm not drinking beer, by the way. This is not fucking Coors Light. This is Olipop. I'm not that depressed. There's no basketball. But yeah, man, I think with our Wizards, the next month is going to be relatively dry. No news. I think the only news that we're going to maybe, it's not even a guaranteed, is a Corey Kispert possible trade. But I don't even think that's going to happen. I think if it does happen, it's probably going to happen now closer to the season or even during the regular season. But anyways, we got to stick together. We gotta hold each other up during these tough times, all right? Start a go-go band or some shit like that. The fuck, we got time now. I got time. But in making this video, I thought of an idea. I was thinking to myself, what is the possible day one, game one starting lineup for our Wizards? Because it was brought up during the stream last one, and I want to go more in depth regarding this topic. So, yeah, this is what you get today. I'm sorry, the content's gonna be horrific this next month. I'm just gonna be straightforward. It's gonna be horrific. It's gonna be horrific. You gotta, but it is what it is. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. All right, so let me just get straight to the point. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and make you guys wait. My prediction for game one, our starting lineup, is gonna be this: Bub Carrington at the 1, CJ McCollum at the 2, Bilal Coulibaly at the 3, Keyshawn George at the 4, and Alex Sarr at the 5. I already know I pissed off a group of people already. Now, granted, ideally, the name that was omitted from that list obviously is Trey Johnson. If Trey Johnson were to be inserted in the starting lineup, the oldest player in that lineup, which would be Bub, Trey, Bilal, Key, and Sarr, would be Keyshawn George. And he's turning 22 in December. So I've gone ideally, you would want a veteran out there on the hardwood to be teaching all these young bucks, especially a guy like Bub, who is learning the new point guard position. This is a very critical year for Bub, and I'm going to get to him a little bit later on. I got him in my notes here. But, choosing McCollum over Trey in that lineup is not indicative towards Trey whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Trey, who balled out and looks like a bona fide stud in Summer League, granted it's just Summer League, he could force the Wizards' hand. Now, do I think Trey's going to end up starting at some point during the upcoming season? Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yeah, especially after the trade deadline. And as a matter of fact, here's another scenario for you guys that I have. What if CJ starts at the 1 and Trey starts at the 2? And then the rest, 3, 4, and 5 is all the same. Bilal, Key, and Sarr. Now that's another scenario. Trey ends up impressing so much so that he's just like, dude, you can't have me on the bench. I am too good for this right now. You need to play me now and play me 30 minutes. Which, honestly, I would not be surprised with. But going back to my first lineup, having, Bub and CJ there, realistically speaking, I don't think they're going to trot out 5 extremely young dudes without a veteran like that. Without a veteran like McCollum, who's right there available for you guys. A guy who averaged 20-plus points last year, who's still serviceable. And we saw with the Bradley Beal. When Bradley Beal first started here, and I keep saying his name, but when Bradley Beal first started here, he came off the bench. And then he ended up, as the season progressed, he was inserted in the starting lineup, and the rest was history. I think that's what's going to happen with Trey Johnson. Now, even if Trey does come off the bench, I still think he's going to get us 25 to 26 minutes a night. So that's not, he's going to be ideally the 6th man. But, again, I know I'll ruffle some feathers already with this, but, I just don't see McCollum coming off the bench. And it's not, I just don't see that, honestly. But going to Bub now. This is just all my take. There is no intel. There is no, the fuck. I'm not an informant. But with Bub Carrington, also another reason why I'm leaning towards the first lineup of Bub and CJ McCollum starting is because, this is a very important year for Bub. Bub Unfortunately, he's only 20 years old, second year in the league, and I like Bub. I'm rooting for Bub. Who doesn't like Bub Hub? Who doesn't like Baltimore? Bub Carrington needs to show signs of promise, of competent point guard play. Because, again, while it isn't fair, the Wizards could be in content or could be in a prime spot next draft if we do keep our top 8 pick, which I'm assuming in this scenario that we're going to. We could have a point guard there who's the BPA, like Darren Peterson, who I brought up in the stream, and a lot of people thought about that as well. If he's available and he's the BPA, you have to take him, in my opinion. It just sucks with Bub, honestly, because like this is a guy who's 20 years old. I already made a video about what he struggles with getting to the rim, finishing at the rim, but this is a very critical year for him. Whereas if he does not show out, I can see them looking for improved point guard play in the draft. I honestly. And regarding, especially with, a guy like Will Dawkins who predominantly goes BPA on his board, I wouldn't be surprised. So with that in mind, I'm under the belief that since the Wizards need to see what they have with Bub, they need to see, and then, they need to evaluate him as much as possible. They need to play him at point guard. They need to start him. Bub's going to start at point guard, whether it's game 1, which I'm assuming it's going to be, or it's going to be, all time. Also, at the same time, honestly, dude, I think we're going to have many rotations, many different lineups all throughout the season like we did last year. So, so with that in mind, that is another reason why I have Bub as the starter as well, because Walt Dawkins, the Wizards, we need to see what we have in him. I still think Bub, even if he is not a starting point guard, Bub to me he's in an 8-man rotation on a deep playoff team. But again, don't get me wrong, I love Trey Johnson. I freaking love this pick. Trey Johnson's looking like a bona fide stud. Either way, I think, my opinion, Trey Johnson's going to force his hand. Trey Johnson's going to make Coach Keefe insert him in the starting lineup at some point in the season. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's early on. Going on to the next thing, we are down to 15 standard contracts. All right, especially with the Marcus Smart buying him out. Blake Wesley gone now. I'm still looking at one thing though. Jameer Watkins. This man's defense is freaking impeccable. He's already like 24 years old, so he's like already like NBA ready. He's currently on a 2-way deal. Now, I said early on in this video, dude, Corey Kispert being traded, hopefully, possibly. We don't know yet. But I feel like if it does happen, it's going to happen closer to the season, maybe even during the regular season. Jameer Watkins, him being promoted to a standard contract, I think that's another move that could possibly happen. But I don't think that's going to happen before the season. I think that's going to happen during the season. Maybe even the Vooch. We don't know yet. But if that happens, I'm looking at Malachi Brown. If Jameer comes up, somebody got to go. I'm looking at Malachi. Honestly, no offense to Malachi, but that's just the way I see it. Jameer, man, his defense. 11 stocks against the Sixers, 8 steals, a summer league record. Jameer, in my opinion, man, I think he's another dude this upcoming year that's going to force the Wizards' hand. Super excited about that pick, and also about that Will Riley trade. We traded back from 18 to 21, got 3 second-round picks, got 2 future, and we got Jameer Watkins in that deal. That trade's looking like a freaking beastly trade, man. But yeah, man. Let's see my notes. I'm just playing. I don't have any notes. I was considering playing tic-tac-toe with myself in this bitch. Trying to think what else. Alex Sarr. The reason why I have Sarr at the 5 is because, well, who else gonna play the 5? Bagley? I like Bagley. Don't get me wrong, but Bagley comes with injury concerns. Also, at the same time, I think the Wizards want to see Sarr at the 5 this upcoming year, but I think we're going to get his front court mate, the long-term front court mate to Alex Sarr, next year. Ideally, if it's Boozer, that'll be a win scenario. Fits perfectly next to Sarr. And also, at the same time, I think, again, I said this multiple times in my conspiracy theories, I think one main reason why we didn't get Sarr a front court mate in the free agency or via trade, is because, well, we need to lose this year. We need to keep our pick. We need to keep our pick. If we did get a front court mate, it would help us improve winning wise. I don't know. That's just my overall conspiracy with that. But because we all saw how we play a little bit better with Rashawn Holmes after we let go of, or we traded Jonas Valanciunas. But yeah, man. And Cam Whitmore. This is the thing, like, those 25 to 26 minutes that Corey Kispert played last year and has been playing for the past 4 years, no offense to Corey, but I want those minutes to be allocated elsewhere. Ideally, to Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, I was brought up during the stream as well, what if Bilal plays the 4 and Cam plays the 3 as a starting lineup? So it would be Bub, CJ, Cam, Bilal. I don't think Bilal's a 4. I think that could happen in possible small ball lineups, but I don't think that's going to be a starting lineup. I think Key is more suited, and also Key himself, Keyshawn George, deserves at least a starting nod with the way he's played in the summer league. Not only that, but hopefully he translates on to, training camp and preseason, which I feel like he will. I'm very high on Keyshawn George. So I think slotting Key next to Sarr as Sarr's front court mate, it's not a bad idea as well. Key gets some run with the starters. But yeah, man, Cam Whitmore, we have this problem right now at the wing, but it's a good problem to have. It's problems that good teams have. My prediction for this game 1 starting lineup is Bub at the 1, CJ at the 2. I almost said Trey. Bilal at the 3, Keyshawn George at the 4, and Alex Sarr at the 5. I like that lineup. I really do. Because 4 of those 5 guys, I can see them being with us for the next 5-6 years. Obviously, McCollum's not the one. But then again, I will admit this. I want Cam Whitmore to be the primary, the sixth man, hopefully, this coming year. We need to see what we have in him as well. We gave up 2 future second-round picks for him. Also, another prediction, I think A.J. Johnson's going to play more towards the second half of the season. After the trade deadline, perhaps we move McCollum. That opens up more minutes for A.J. Johnson. I don't think we're going to see A.J. Johnson in the first half of the season that much. To those A.J. Johnson supporters, believers, that might piss them off, but realistically speaking, I think that's going to happen. Will Riley, he might start off in the G League. But he showed flashes in the Summer League. And I think we need to find a way to get Champagnie some minutes too. Champagnie, man. Don't sleep on Champagnie. But yeah, man, that's my prediction for the starting lineups. But like I said earlier, this is going to change. I wouldn't be surprised if our, game 1 starting lineup is totally different from game 10. It's going to change and fluctuate if God forbid an injury happens, but I think Keith's is going to play around a lot. I think Trey's going to start at least half of the games this upcoming year. Trey Johnson. He's going to get his minutes. And also, I'm going to say this too before I end this video. I've said this many times. Y'all probably already pissed off about this. Not even probably pissed off, but y'all probably already tired of hearing it. The 2 most important things, develop the young bucks, develop our rookies, and keep our pick, our top 8 protected pick. Now, I'm putting more emphasis on developing our young bucks and our young dudes. Granted, I'm saying it's more 60-40 that. Or maybe I would probably give even more. We need to show signs of improvement. We need to win more than 18 games. Win 19. That's improvement. Win 20, 21, 22. Because if we win less than 18 games, it would show a couple of things without me even looking at the games or something like that. It would show that our players did not improve. By players meaning our core young players like Sarr, Bilal, Bub. So then that'll be a negative. It would be. And also for morale. Bilal is entering his 3rd year in the league. He's withstood 2 ass seasons here in DC. Granted, they were, ass, but it was expected. I'm under the impression that this is the last year we're going to be in the lottery, because next year we have a lot of money to play with, and I think next year Will Dawkins is going to have a lot of pressure to start at least not winning or getting into the playoffs, but showing signs of being competitive with us, with our team. I'm going to end it with that. Obviously, I want to keep that pick. Obviously, that can be a franchise changer, but we'll see. Though. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Until next video, peace, y'all.